In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, to whom we all have to turn back. Honourable listeners and respectable audience, you know that we have started a series of linguistics. In linguistics, we have started the chapter and it is phonology. Today the topic which I have brought for you, it is another type of phonology, and that is syllable and cluster. Listeners and audience, first of all, I will tell you what is syllable. After that, the definition of cluster, and furthermore, I will share with you the components of syllable and cluster, that how many components of syllable are there, as well as how many components of cluster are there. So be with me and listen to this lecture from beginning until end. Listeners and audience, syllable is a part of a word. It is a portion of a word which has or which contains one single vowel. Remember that you may call to a syllable that syllable, even syllable is a word. For example, when we are talking about me, when we are talking about you, so though it has a single vowel, but it is also a word and it is also a syllable. So that's why I define syllable into two ways. Syllable is a word, or it is a part of a word which has a singular or single vowel. And when we are talking about the example of syllables, for example, I am writing two examples. One is but, another is secret. You see, this is syllable and it has one vowel, and it is a word which has two syllables, sec and right, secret. So two syllables are there. As I told you that syllable is a part of a word, it is a portion of word which contains a single vowel. Listeners and audience, whenever we are talking about the components or the constituents or the parts of the syllable, so we divide syllables into such parts. Like in syllable, first of all we have onset. We have onset. What is onset? Onset is the initial consonant sound of a syllable or of a word. So the initial consonant sound of a word or of a syllable, it is known as onset. For example, if I say cup, so this C, it is the onset of this syllable, it is the onset of this word. So the initial sound of a word or of a syllable, that is known as onset. Keep in mind, onset can be just one consonant. It can be two consonants, and it can be three, even four, because maximum consonants in English language, they are four. As I have written in yesterday lecture that 12, which have four consonants. But I want to revise and remind for you again some important points. As I say that consonant can be, onset can be singular consonant. For example, I say cup, so it is singular. H can be more than singular. For example, I am writing some word shop. So here you see two consonants are there. So that's why it can be two. But remember, whenever two consonants they combine together, we call them cluster. So it is also called cluster. And we also call it digraph, the combination of two consonant sounds or the combination of two letters which make one sound, that is called digraph. Okay, consonant can be 3 letters. It can be 3. Onset can be 3 and more than that. For example, splash. Splash. So you see onset. So here we have 3 consonants, and it is also onset. And this process is also known as trigraph. The combination of 3 letters, we call it trigraph. However, sometimes we describe trigraph in another way, that the combination of 3 letters which produce a single sound, then we call it trigraph. However, we can also call it trigraph. And in phonology, we call it cluster. As cluster is the combination of 3 consonant letters. Okay, listeners and audience, I think this point is clear. Let's come to another part of the syllable, that is rhyme. Keep in mind that rhyme is also known as nucleus. Rhyme is also known as nucleus. So, what is rhyme and what is nucleus? A rhyme is actually known as a vowel. Rhyme is also called a vowel which comes after the onset, or which comes connected to the onset. For example, as I have written this example, ka. So here this U sound, or which is a short vowel, here it is what? Here it is rhyme, and which is also known as nucleus. Okay. After that, we also have coda. What is coda? Coda is a sound which comes after the consonant. It is a sound which comes after the nucleus, which comes connected to the nucleus. So the sound which comes connected to the nucleus or rhyme, it is known as coda. But remember, here is very important point, and the point is that each and every word does not have coda. Each and every word does not have coda. For example, if I am writing a word, first of all I am writing the example that what is coda. So this is cup. So here P is coda because it has come after the nucleus. But in the next example I told you that each and every word, it does not have coda. Like I am writing a word, for example, me. So here you see the word starts, or the syllable starts with consonant letter and ends with a nucleus or rhyme, but there is no coda. So here there are 2 important things. What is the first thing? The first thing is that a word or a syllable which ends with nucleus and does not have coda, we call it open syllable. We call it open syllable. One point. Another point is that a word which ends with coda, or a syllable which ends with coda, then we call it closed syllable. Okay. So listeners and audience, you see, one is known as open syllable, another is known as closed syllable. What would be the example of open syllable? The example of open syllable, that is, for example, me. That is 2. Okay. What would be the example of closed syllable? For example, cup and shop, etc. Okay, as I talk about cluster, what is cluster? So the combination of 2 consonant sound, more than 2 consonant sound, more than 2 consonant sounds, so that is called cluster. If 2 consonant sounds are there, we call it cluster. More than 2 consonant sounds are there, we call it cluster. Okay. Now, I'm going to draw a structure, a kind of structure of syllable that you understand. For example, when I'm talking about the structure, I think I should erase it. Okay. Listeners and audience, when we are talking about the structure of syllable, that how to talk about and how to design a structure, for example. So let me share this method with you. First of all, I will write here syllable. For example, if I am talking the structure of the word cup, so I will write cup here in a separate way. Just here, for example, cup. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about a structure. See, here in syllable, as I already told you that we have what? For example, we have onset. Okay. And we also have rhyme. Okay. Now in onset, we have what? We have one consonant which is C, which is ka sound. Okay. And then I also write here is C. It means this C for consonant and this is for ka. Okay. And then in rhyme we have nucleus. Yes. I'm right a bit short. Okay. So in rhyme we have nucleus. Okay. Now in nucleus we have U, which is a sound. So here I will write V sound like V, which is vowel. So below I will write U. It means it represents U, vowel sound. Okay. And after that we have coda. So coda, which is consonant. So in consonant we have P. So listeners and audience, you see this is the structure of syllable. The cup, the structure of the cup syllable or word would be, first we have onset, which is C or consonant, and then we have a rhyme. In rhyme we have nucleus, which is O or U sound. Yes, O sound, which is U, and then we have coda, which is P. So this is the structure of syllable which has onset, rhyme and coda. However, now I am drawing the structure of the word which does not have coda. For example, I am writing here syllable. Okay, and then onset. After that rhyme. You may also write this rhyme, R-I-M-E rhyme. So for example, me. So here me is consonant. I will write C, and then we only have a vowel, which is what? Which is E. And there is no coda, so this is only the structure. And to represent a consonant and vowel, below consonant you write C and below vowel you write V. But there is another question. If you see a word which have clusters, it means two consonant sound, three consonant sound, how you will represent the structure of that sound. So now I am representing them in another way. For example, if I am writing splash, splash, what would be the syllable structure of this word? So I am writing here syllable. Okay. After that, here would be, yes, here would be onset. After onset, now how many consonants are there? It is also called cluster. 3 are there. Split. So for it I am writing. So for onset there would be C. So how many C consonant cluster are there? So 3 are there. So first of all let me write SPL. So these 3 are what? These 3 are onset. You may represent it with C, C and C because 3 consonants are there cluster. After that we have another component of syllable which is a rhyme. In rhyme we have nucleus. Okay. And nucleus we have vowel. Okay. So how many vowel are there? Just one. Okay. After that, so you may write V here for representation. After that we have what? That is onset. Sorry, that is coda. So in coda, how many C we have? 2. You may write it CC. That is SH, or you may write SH and below it CC. So listeners and audience, I think this topic is clear to you. Thank you.